Exploring the realism in gaming. The pros and cons of photorealistic video games. In the realm of video gaming, the pursuit of photorealism represents the cutting edge of technological and artistic expression. Games that employ photorealistic graphics seek to mimic reality as closely as possible, providing players with immersive experiences that push the boundaries of digital entertainment. However, achieving this high level of realism comes with substantial challenges that can impact game development and the player's experience. This essay explores the advantages and disadvantages of photorealistic video games and their influence on the gaming landscape. What is photorealism in gaming? Definition and technical aspects. Photorealism in gaming refers to the technique and art of creating games that visually mimic the real world. This style uses high-fidelity graphics, including detailed textures, complex shading, and realistic lighting effects to create lifelike scenes. Achieving photorealism involves high-resolution textures, detailed graphical patterns that replicate real-world surfaces with high accuracy, advanced rendering techniques, including ray tracing, which simulates real light interactions to produce lifelike shadows and reflections, complex lighting effects. Techniques like global illumination enhance realism by mimicking the diffuse propagation of light. Sophisticated motion capture, used to animate characters with realistic human motions. Required technologies. Producing these visuals requires powerful hardware and advanced game engines, such as Unreal Engine 5 and Unity with HDRP. These technologies facilitate the demanding calculations needed to render detailed environments and characters realistically. Pros of photorealistic games. 1. Enhanced immersion. Photorealism significantly enhances player immersion. Photorealistic graphics bridge the gap between the game world and reality, allowing players to lose themselves in intricately detailed landscapes. These environments can mirror real-world locations with stunning accuracy, from the bustling streets of a modern city to the untamed beauty of natural settings. Detailed environments, dynamic weather, and lifelike characters help create a compelling, engaging world that can evoke strong emotional responses. As seen in games like Red Dead Redemption 2, meticulously recreates the American frontier with breathtaking detail, making exploration feel authentic and immersive. Lifelike characters in photorealistic games can convey emotions and expressions with a nuance that simpler graphics cannot achieve. Advanced facial animations and body language help players connect with characters on a deeper emotional level. This connection can intensify the narrative experience, making story-driven games more impactful. The Last of Us Part 2 excels in this aspect, with characters whose expressions and movements resonate with players, making their journeys and struggles deeply personal and moving. Dynamic weather systems and day-night cycles add another layer of realism, influencing gameplay and atmosphere. Photorealistic graphics can vividly depict the play of light and shadow, the shimmer of rain, or the airiness of fog, enhancing the mood and tension in various game scenarios. This level of detail makes the game world feel alive and responsive to the player's actions, drawing them further into the experience. Small details, such as realistic textures, reflections, and particle effects, contribute to the overall sense of immersion. Whether it's the rustling of leaves in the wind, the intricate design of armor, or the reflective surfaces of water bodies, these details make the game world more believable. In Red Dead Redemption 2 for example, the attention to detail is evident in the way animals behave, the tracks they leave, and the changing landscapes, all of which create a rich, immersive environment. Enhanced graphics often go hand in hand with improved sound design. Realistic visuals can be complemented by lifelike sounds, from environmental noises to character dialogues, enhancing the overall sensory experience. This combination can create moments of intense immersion, where players feel truly present within the game world. Photorealistic graphics allow for more sophisticated storytelling techniques. Developers can use visual storytelling, subtle facial cues, and detailed environments to convey narrative elements without relying solely on dialogue or text. This visual storytelling can make the narrative more engaging and accessible, allowing players to interpret and experience the story in a more intuitive and impactful way. Photorealistic graphics can improve authenticity, especially in games that aim to recreate historical settings or tell complex stories. Accurate visual details help players connect more deeply with the game's content, enhancing both educational and entertainment value. Pushing technological boundaries. These games drive technological innovation, leading to advancements in GPU capabilities, software engineering, and applications beyond gaming, such as in virtual reality and simulation-based training. Photorealistic games push the limits of what current hardware can achieve, particularly in the realm of graphics processing units, GPUs. To render the incredibly detailed textures, complex lighting effects, and lifelike animations required by photorealistic graphics, developers need increasingly powerful GPUs. This demand drives GPU manufacturers to innovate, creating more powerful and efficient hardware that not only benefits gaming, but also other industries relying on graphic-intensive applications, such as video editing, 3D modeling, and scientific visualization. The quest for photorealism in games has led to significant advancements in software engineering. Developers are constantly developing new algorithms, rendering techniques, and optimization strategies to achieve higher levels of realism while maintaining performance. Techniques like ray tracing, which simulates the way light interacts with objects in a scene, have become more sophisticated and widespread, offering realistic reflections, refractions, and shadows. These advancements have set new standards in software development, influencing not only the gaming industry, but also fields like CGI in film, architecture, and automotive design. Photorealistic graphics are crucial for creating believable and immersive virtual environments in VR and AR applications. As these technologies evolve, the demand for realistic visuals increases, driving innovation in both hardware and software. The improvements made for photorealistic games directly benefit VR and AR by providing the necessary tools and technologies to create more convincing virtual experiences. This has implications not only for entertainment, but also for education, healthcare, and training, where immersive simulations can offer safe and effective ways to learn and practice skills. Beyond entertainment, the advancements in photorealistic graphics have significant applications in professional training and simulations. Industries such as aviation, military, and medicine increasingly rely on realistic simulations for training purposes. These simulations use the same graphic technologies developed for games to create lifelike scenarios that help professionals hone their skills in a controlled environment. For example, flight simulators with photorealistic visuals provide pilots with a more accurate and immersive training experience, which can better prepare them for real-world situations. The drive towards photorealism in games has also influenced broader technological and media trends. For instance, advancements in real-time rendering have begun to blur the lines between pre-rendered CGI and real-time graphics, opening up new possibilities for interactive media and live events. Additionally, the increased focus on achieving photorealistic visuals has led to better tools and workflows for artists and designers to across various creative industries, further pushing the boundaries of what is possible in digital media. The pursuit of photorealism in games often requires collaboration between disciplines, including computer science, art, physics, and even psychology. This cross-disciplinary approach fosters innovation, as experts from different fields contribute to solving the complex challenges associated with creating realistic digital worlds. This collaborative spirit can lead to breakthroughs that not only enhance gaming experiences, but also have wider applications in technology, science, and the arts. Cons of photorealistic games. 1. High development costs. Developing photorealistic games is incredibly costly, with budgets often running into the hundreds of millions. This financial burden can stifle innovation and limit market competition, as only well-funded studios can afford to pursue such projects. Creating a photorealistic game requires an immense financial investment. The development of lifelike environments, characters, and effects demands top-tier talent, cutting-edge technology, and vast amounts of time. For instance, games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Cyberpunk 2077 reportedly had budgets exceeding $300 million. These costs include not only the development process, but also the extensive marketing campaigns needed to recoup the investment. Such high budgets mean that studios must often rely on a game's commercial success to justify the expense, which can lead to risk-averse decisions that favor tried and true formulas over innovative gameplay or storytelling. This high budget leads to the financial pressures of developing photorealistic games can stifle innovation in several ways. First, studios may be less willing to experiment with new ideas or game mechanics due to the high stakes involved. When hundreds of millions of dollars are on the line, there's a strong incentive to stick with proven genres or franchises, leading to a market saturated with sequels, remakes, and games that play it safe rather than pushing creative boundaries. This environment can discourage smaller, indie developers from pursuing ambitious projects, as they often lack the resources to compete on such a scale. The high costs associated with photorealistic game development create significant barriers to entry, effectively limiting market competition. Only large, well-funded studios or publishers can afford to produce games with the level of visual fidelity that many players now expect. This financial reality concentrates power in the hands of a few dominant companies, making it harder for smaller studios to gain a foothold in the industry. As a result, the gaming landscape risks becoming monopolized by major players who can afford to invest in photorealism, potentially leading to less diversity in the types of games available to consumers. Even for well-established studios, the financial risk of developing a photorealistic game can be enormous. If a game fails to meet sales expectations, the studio can suffer severe financial consequences, potentially leading to layoffs, project cancellations, or even closure. The pressure to succeed can lead studios to make compromises in other areas, such as reducing the scope of a game, cutting corners in quality assurance, or relying on microtransactions and other monetization strategies that may alienate players. 2. Exclusion of lower-end hardware users. Basically, gaming is gradually becoming a rich man's club. The high hardware demands of photorealistic games exclude players who do not have access to the latest computing technology. This creates a divide in the gaming community and can diminish the inclusive nature of gaming. Photorealistic games demand significant computational power to render the detailed textures, advanced lighting, and complex animations that define them. These requirements often necessitate high-end GPUs, large amounts of RAM, and powerful processors. For many players, especially those on older or budget systems, these hardware demands are simply too high. making it difficult or impossible to play these games at acceptable performance levels. As a result, a significant portion of the gaming community is excluded from fully experiencing these titles, either having to settle for lower graphical settings or not being able to play the game at all. The need for high-end hardware to run photorealistic games creates a financial barrier for many gamers. Upgrading to a powerful gaming PC or purchasing the latest console can be expensive, particularly for younger gamers or those in regions with lower disposable incomes. This financial burden can lead to a situation where only more affluent players can enjoy the latest photorealistic titles, exacerbating the digital divide within the gaming community. As gaming becomes increasingly photorealistic, the risk is that it could alienate a large segment of the player base who simply can't afford the necessary hardware. The disparity in hardware capabilities among players can lead to market fragmentation. Developers may need to create multiple versions of a game to accommodate different levels of hardware, leading to increased development costs and potential compromises in quality. Games may have to be downscaled significantly for lower-end devices, which can result in a less immersive or visually appealing experience for those players. This fragmentation can also affect multiplayer communities, where differences in hardware capabilities might create imbalances or reduce the overall player pool for certain games. As photorealistic games become more prevalent, there's a risk that gaming becomes less accessible and inclusive. Gaming has long been a medium that reaches a broad audience, including those who use gaming as an escape or a form of social interaction. When high hardware requirements prevent a portion of the community from participating, it can lead to a less diverse player base and diminish the social aspects of gaming. The exclusion of lower-end hardware users can also disproportionately affect players in developing regions, where access to the latest technology is more limited. Higher hardware requirements also come with environmental costs. The need for more powerful hardware leads to increased energy consumption, both in manufacturing and operation. Additionally, the push for photorealistic graphics may contribute to a faster hardware upgrade cycle, leading to more electronic waste as gamers feel pressured to replace their old devices with newer, more capable ones. This not only impacts players with lower-end hardware, but also raises concerns about the sustainability of the gaming industry's current trajectory. The exclusion of lower-end hardware users could ultimately lead to a shrinking player base for photorealistic games. As fewer people are able to participate due to hardware limitations, the community around these games may become smaller and less diverse. This can impact the game's longevity and success, as a broad and engaged player base is crucial for sustaining multiplayer communities, driving sales, and fostering a vibrant gaming culture. Developers may find it increasingly challenging to justify the high costs of photorealistic game development if the potential audience continues to narrow. 3. Potential overemphasis on graphics over gameplay. There is a risk that developers might prioritize visuals at the expense of gameplay, leading to games that are beautiful yet shallow or buggy. The high cost of developing photorealistic games often necessitates significant oversight from investors and publishers, who may prioritize profitability over creative expression. Developers may face restrictions on their artistic vision, being pushed to make design choices that are more commercially viable rather than creatively fulfilling. This can lead to homogenized content, where games increasingly resemble one another in terms of both aesthetics and gameplay, diminishing the variety and richness of gaming experiences available to players. The emphasis on achieving photorealistic graphics can sometimes lead to a disproportionate allocation of resources towards visuals at the expense of other crucial aspects of game design, such as gameplay mechanics, narrative depth, or innovation. Developers may feel pressured to prioritize graphical fidelity to meet consumer expectations, which can result in games that look stunning but feel lackluster in terms of gameplay experience. This focus on visuals over substance can ultimately detract from the overall quality of the game, leaving players disappointed despite the impressive graphics. This was evident with the initial release of Cyberpunk 2077, where despite its impressive cityscapes, the game suffered from numerous gameplay issues. Conclusion: photorealistic games are at the forefront of what's visually possible in gaming today. They offer unmatched immersion and have spurred numerous technological advancements. However, the pursuit of photorealism also presents significant challenges, including high development costs, potential market exclusion, and the possibility of compromising on gameplay quality. Balancing these factors is essential as the industry continues to evolve. Photorealism should not just be about visual excellence, but also about enriching the player's experience in a holistic manner. While photorealistic games can offer breathtaking visuals and immersive experiences, they also come with significant drawbacks, particularly in terms of accessibility. The high hardware requirements necessary to run these games effectively exclude many players, creating financial and social barriers that can lead to market fragmentation and a less inclusive gaming community. As the industry continues to push the boundaries of realism, it's important to consider the broader implications for all gamers, especially those who may not have access to the latest technology. Balancing graphical fidelity with accessibility will be crucial for ensuring that gaming remains a medium that everyone can enjoy. And that wraps up our deep dive into the pros and cons of photorealistic games. As we've seen, photorealism can bring breathtaking visuals and immersive experiences. But it also comes with significant challenges, from high development costs to accessibility issues. Ultimately, whether you prefer the cutting-edge realism of titles like The Last of Us Part 2 or the stylized charm and focus on gameplay in games like Breath of the Wild it all comes down to your personal preference. So, what do you think? Do the stunning visuals of photorealistic games enhance your gaming experience? Or do you lean more towards games that prioritize playability and creative design? Let us know in the comments below. Remember, gaming is about what brings you joy, whether that's through incredible graphics, engaging gameplay, or a bit of both. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more gaming content. Happy gaming!